What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Melissa Renee with Bella Minded, okay? And of course, before we get into anything, we finna sit here and make sure y'all press that notification key so y'all can keep up and know when I'm putting out a new video. And I also want to make sure that you go and you subscribe to my YouTube and to my website, www.bellaminded.com, so you can be updated with all this new content I got coming out, so you can know when I'm about to do this big old giveaway that I'm about to do. That's going to be my Pour Into You box that I'm giving away with all some good goodies, child, from some favorite Black vendors and businesses that I like to patron. And oh yes, and let's go ahead and show y'all one. You know what I'm saying? And this comes from Miss Finishing Touch. These are handmade earrings by Her Love, and they are beautiful and they are affordable. I'm gonna go shout her out and have her sponsor this video with these luscious earrings. So make sure you do that if you want to be a part of this giveaway, okay? I'm not telling what's all in it yet, but it's coming. But if you want to get a head start on getting this Pour Into You box that I'm giving away, then you might as well go ahead and subscribe. Might as well go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube, to my website, like my Instagram, and like my Facebook page, okay? Go ahead and get a heads up on that, all right? Well, since we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this video, okay? Y'all know it's the holidays, of course. Let's still, and we got to deal with family, and that could be difficult sometimes. Even though we love them so, it can get a little challenging. Family are just simply people too. So the best way I feel that you can allow yourself to be around family and not feel anxious and get yourself all wound up is by not putting expectations on your family. So I'm here to give you reasons why you shouldn't put expectations on your family. Family values, if you don't know, are based on a cultural or traditional value that pertains to the family structure, function, and roles. Everybody knows that when having family, unfortunately, we are put in certain roles, hence the reason why you have the bougie aunt, the cool aunt. We tend to classify each other in as far as family because, you know, for whatever reason, we love to try to label people to try to identify and kind of find something to where that's familiar or something that we could understand. Your family values aren't the family value. You have to understand and you have to know that with every family there are a set of values. You know, you might have a family who thinks that academic success is like the big thing, the thing they value in the family. But remember, you don't have to take on those expectations of your life of what they value. And we live our own lives, we have our own journeys to go through, and it's hard enough as it is to try to meet expectations for ourselves, let alone trying to meet expectations for family and other people. Accept who you are, and if they don't get it and if they don't like it, so be it. That's not your job, that's not your concern, and vice versa. You might have and what somebody in your family or the elders may value doesn't necessarily mean that has to be the values you take on to your family or in your life, because it might not work. Nurture and build relationships just like any other relationship. It's because you grew up with them when you were young that you still know who they are. If you did not take the time to learn who they've become and who they've grown into, we tend to put each other in roles and want to keep each other in those roles, and we don't want to acknowledge we are people. Just because we're family, we're still human beings, we're still people. And like with people and anybody else, you grow, you evolve, you're not the same. So just because I was a crackhead back in the day, auntie, don't mean that I didn't clean myself up and get sober and I'm still a crackhead. It doesn't mean that. I know we got this philosophy in this Black community. Once a crackhead, always a crackhead. Those are lies. No, it's not. It's called growth. We grow, and we cannot pigeonhole people and make people stay into this box that we've become familiar to. If you want to be close with your family, if you want to have good, healthy relationships with your family, you have to put yourself out there to get to know your family. You cannot base your relationship with your family on 5, 10, 16 years ago of who you used to know them as. If you haven't built it and you've already set a foundation, then nurture that relationship. Now granted, if they don't want it, if they ain't with it, then you can't force anything but to try. Okay? Don't set expectations you aren't willing to meet yourself. You want a relationship with your family member, but you're waiting for them to step out and initiate something, but you're not even willing to initiate. It works both ways. Like, that person, that family member is a person. They don't sit in these roles that we place them in due to our family values. So you have to allow a person to be themselves. You have to accept your family for who they are and get to know them for who they are, not who you want them to be, not who you thought they was, not who they used to be, but who they are now. We're individuals and we don't have the same perspective and outlook because we're all different. We're all individuals. Even though we might come from the same family, we all lead different lives. A 2-parent home and, had a good childhood doesn't necessarily mean that I won't have my own traumas and go through my own things. We're individuals. We live individual lives. Our expectations may come from a false reality based on the media. That a lot of times, whether we realize it or not, we are conditioned through the media. They kind of give us that Leave It to Beaver type of content to make us feel like this is what a family does. This is how a family operates. But in reality, your family operates and your family works based on how you define or how the people in your family define how family is. As long as you're spending time with each other, as long as you are getting to know each other, building healthy boundaries, healthy relationships, communicating effectively, it does not necessarily matter if you're not this picture perfect family that you see on TV, that you read in childhood storybooks, and etc., etc. We have to accept what we have and where we at, adjust and adapt, basically, and we can't base our lives on what we see on TV, because you got to understand, this is entertainment, this is TV. You're always being sold something, whether you know it or not. Stop trying to be in control. Let it go. The only person you can control is yourself, okay? So if your cousin want to keep having 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids and don't want to get married, if she ain't asking you for money, if she ain't asking you to help her, leave the situation alone. You don't control that situation. It frankly is none of your business. You know what I'm saying? We tend to think because we family, they business, our business, our business. No, it's not. People have their own personal, intimate lives, okay? And you have to allow people to want to share that with you. You don't get to pry, you don't get to be nosy, and you don't get to judge, and you certainly don't get to control. And I feel like when you want to control your other family members, it's because it comes from a place of judgment. You're trying to judge them. And maybe when you try to project yourself and control situations, you may be disrupting a lesson or disrupting the path that's already been destined for them to go. If they ask for your advice, if they ask for your help, yes, be willing to give it if you want to, but don't push, don't pry, and don't control, because these are individuals. Has nothing to do with you, and you will find yourself less disappointed on how people act and how people move, because you have let go the thought in the process of having to be in control and having to judge everybody and having to correct everybody. Your life will be much happier, much easier if you just allow people to be themselves, accept them for themselves, see you in them. We all make mistakes. Soon as you want to judge one of your family members, remember the shit you did. Remember the shit you went through. And when you have conversations with them in regards to that, try to be empathetic. Try to pull from an empathetic place versus a place of pointing your finger and wanting to judge. Now, these are just my tips on how and the reasons why you should stop putting expectations on your family member. I hope you will try to apply those things, and you might have a merry ho-ho ass Christmas, okay? And before you know it, you're gonna be walking around unbothered, because hey, you done got my tips. Read further about how not to put expectations on your family members. Go to bellaminded.com, subscribe. Okay, subscribe, and the full article is there for you to read in depth. And other than that, I mean, I don't got no more to say. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, hey, I'm bothered. All right, y'all. I love y'all. See y'all later. Merry Christmas, ho, 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 and all that good shit. I don't do reviews. I don't do reviews. But I had to come. They're going to call you on your shit. Now, regardless of who you are,